Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, perfectly. I can see it, I can hear.
Okay, so welcome to the people that is joining us right now. We're going to start in 5 minutes or so. We're just waiting for the people to joining us. Thank you for being with us. We're glad to be here with Daniel.
Hi, Jesus. Glad to. And well, also it's a very hard day. A lot of hours. It starts early. It's going until tomorrow. It's not going to be easy, but I think everybody's very engaged and with a lot of optimism about this summit.
Yeah, it's historic event. It's the first virtual event of the UN Global Compact Summit. I know a couple of years ago you also went to an event in New York, right? The other UN Global Compact Summit. What year was that, Daniel?
It was. I think it's really different. It's a new reality we have to adapt to, and it's at the beginning maybe it's not that easy, but I think that we are finding the benefits also. And next year we will have the opportunity to find that together. So I think it's
right.
It's a nice experience. It's a nice experience. This is the new normality.
Yeah, it's not gonna be always like to be physically together, but like you said, I believe that there's a lot of advantages of reuniting us in a virtual platform, just such as UN Global Compact just did with us. And I believe that the future, I know it's not the topic of conversation. We are waiting. Welcome to the persons, the attendees that are being with us in this live session. We're just waiting a couple of minutes to start in time. We just chit chat with Daniel, doing a little chit chat, talking about the virtual events. But we're gonna start with the main topic in a couple of minutes. Please wait with us. Be wait with us.
Yes.
Daniel,
well, thanks to Alexi that is joining us, and also Warif from Lebanon.
Yeah, Warif, we have a very important friend of Lebanon, Mr. Afram, right, Daniel?
Yes.
We saw him in Malaysia in the last event in Kuala Lumpur. Yes. He's from Lebanese Agriculture Research Institute. Exactly. From Lebanon, and he invited me last year, so I went to Beirut. It's a beautiful city, right? So okay, so we are a couple of minutes to start. I'm gonna start on time. It's one of the things that the virtual events normally pushes us to begin with. I think that's one of the difference from the physical events versus virtual events. The physical events, it's very difficult to start on time, but the virtual events, it's like a must, right?
Well, and then there are a lot of sessions at the same time in events, and we want to take advantage of everything. So, well, I think we can start in this new reality that we was talking about is something that has to see about the topic today.
Exactly. We can begin then, Daniel, please.
Well, then let's officially start. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Javier, and I am WORLDCOB Director of Quality and CSR. Joining us today is Jesus Moran, CEO and co-founder of WORLDCOB. And on behalf of WORLDCOB, I would like to welcome you to our webcast entitled Projecting Trust for Your Organization.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. As a proud sponsor of this year's UN Global Compact Leaders Summit, WORLDCOB is excited to join the conversation on how to rebuild inclusive economies and societies to set a new course for a socially just, low carbon and climate resilient world where no one is left behind. WORLDCOB's objectives as a business association is to promote organizational excellence and sustainability through training, recognition, certifications, and trust services.
Well, thank you, Jesus. And so just to get everyone thinking about our topic, what do you look for when you want to start a new relationship for your organization? I'm sure there are hundreds of qualities that can come to mind, like competence, communication, reliability, social responsibility. And how is that all projected? Online presence, reputation, deliverables, references, and so on. How is all that managed? And do you manage it for your organization?
Yeah, of course. So the topic, projecting trust for your organization, managing how your organization projects trust, has become more critical than ever due to the pandemic. Not only because of the traditional methods are inaccessible, but also because missing a connection or a relationship could be detrimental to the many organizations that are currently in a survival mode.
Just a few months ago, I don't think that anyone here would have imagined that today we would be meeting in a virtual summit. However, despite all of the challenges, everyone here is engaged and seeking to learn from and create online connections with others.
And develop intuition, right? Before the world went virtual, most of us, seasoned professionals, develop a sense of intuition to measure trustworthiness. Maybe you could rely on a person's organization or a profession as a source of trust, or possibly you pick up on cues from the manner or communication skills. Any way you look at it, the intuitive skills does not translate or applies to today's most available way of making connections.
Online sales, for example, have already been trending up, but with the pandemic, they have skyrocketed. For example, digital retail in Spain grew 55%, and despite some traditional online sales completely plummeted, like, for example, tourism, air tickets, and fashion.
Right, Daniel, right. So, COVID-19 has forced many organizations to develop digital solutions, and many of these are going to become normal even after the pandemic ends. Organizations will realize that permanently adopting these approaches will save time, money, and are better for the environment.
Yeah. And trust is one of the most important organizational assets. A financial definition for an asset would describe it as a resource, either owned or controlled by an economic entity that is expected to provide positive economic value. I think it goes without saying that the trust others have had in your organization has provided positive impact value. But would you say it is one of your most important assets? Consider if your organization lost the trust that it has earned, and I think you will agree.
Right. I think not only me, but all that are watching this session will agree. Everyone has a stake in your success, and understanding the framework on which this trust is built on is crucial, and especially in these changing times.
The essence of relationships is trust. I think the following quote really summarizes the critical role of trust in any human endeavor. Trust is the glue that holds people, organizations, and societies together. Without trust, relationships become rigid, less efficient, and economies are slowed. Understanding the framework of trust, you can work on becoming more trustworthy for clients and colleagues.
So here are the two main dimensions of trust: rational and emotional. So under rational factors and emotional factors. So we got in rational factors, credibility, which this type of trust refers to what your organization says and what it says of it. And reliability, this refers to the experience your organization provides with its actions. It is a reflection of a capability and dependability.
And the emotional factors, business intimacy, this type of trust refers to the feeling that they know you. It is a sense of closeness that reflects transparency, attitude, respect, empathy, and orientation. This refers on focusing on others rather than yourself to project trustworthiness. The regional factors are generally overemphasized when discussing trust. However, most of the time, it is the emotional factors that dictate the outcome of a decision. In fact, business intimacy is ranked highest in effectiveness in building trust. And this is a trick. Trust with executives is earned through their team. It's another useful quote regarding making connections through trust. The ability to work and leverage resources within the executive's organization is the most important in building trust. So the executive assumes if their team trusts you, they can trust you. So don't just use them to get to the executive.
Recommended practices. Now we're going over some recommended practices that help your organization to possibly act in the main components of trust. We got the first one, which is integrity. Of course, one of the most important one. Act based on principles, upholding a code of ethics and corporate values helps define the identity of your organization and establish its culture. I think it goes without saying for a UN Global Compact audience, but we have to mention this absolutely fundamental component.
Yeah, and the organizational message. Adjust your message to the image you want to project of your brand and transform your organization so that it lives up to this image. So go from the storytelling to the story doing.
Right. Corporate social responsibility. Social responsibility is fundamental to trust. Studies have shown that social responsible organizations are most successful at achieving their profits and goals in the long term. They mitigate risks better and they create a higher intangible value. So there's really no reason not to be social responsible.
And stakeholders. Your stakeholders have expectations. If you reasonably and continuously satisfy these expectations, it generates trust. If you do not do this, you will lose credibility. A key point here is to continuously communicate with your stakeholders to ensure that expectations are being met.
Visibility. Positive appearance in the media, journals, and any type of public forum improve credibility and reputation. Of course, it is important for your organization to have a story to tell. To gain visibility, you should be an active corporate citizen and participate in professional associations, charitable causes, and other gatherings that promote your organizational message, such as this UN Global Compact Leaders Summit, for example.
Online presence. When a potential contact or client wants to find out more about your organization, they will search online, and the first impression could change the outcome. Web design accounts for an overwhelming 94% of how first impressions are formed over on the web. A Stanford study shows that 75% of consumers admit to make judgments on a company's credibility based on the company's web design. So one thing to consider in your web page is that people want to connect with people, not with friends. So tell the story. Remember that intimacy is very important and self-orientation is a bad thing.
Right, it's a bad thing also. One other recommendation is the testimonials, right? Showcase reviews and ratings to generate credibility. This is a must, of course. Openly request feedback in the form user-generated content, included reviews, rating, recommendations, and video testimonials. Negative and positive comments both contribute to understanding what your organization is doing right and provide an enormous opportunity to build trust for new clients, vendors, or partnerships. A satisfaction-focused organization will offer rewards, free trials, just like us, warranties, and money-back guarantees.
Well, certifications and recognitions. Third-party validation is useful to build trust. Some may say, trust but verify. A certification obtained after an audit provides assurances that a management system is in place. And recognitions showcase your organization's achievements. Both are designed to project trust as a result of meeting your stakeholders' expectations.
So, Daniel, just to summarize, and this will help also other people that are joining us, right? Attendees that are joining us right now in this session. First, thank you for that. Just to summarize the best practice recommendations that we are doing, the focus areas for projecting trust for your organization. As we just went over these practices, we got integrity, organizational message, corporate social responsibility, so important for us as well, stakeholders, visibility, online presence, testimonials, and certifications and recognitions.
Well, I want to remark some WORLDCOB facts. Besides being a proud sponsor of this year's United Global Compact Leaders Summit, WORLDCOB has been around for a while. We founded this association in Houston, and after over the 15 years, we have had over 3,500 organizations from over 130 countries join us as members. We are strongly focused in our member needs.
Exactly. WORLDCOB, it's led also by the board of directors, composed, of course, by Daniel Javier, who is co-hosting this webcast. It's also Quality and CSR Director of WORLDCOB, Michael Belito, which is our Vice President, Nancy Branger, that I seen that she's with us right now online. Thank you, Nancy. Nicholas Kaffer as well, also he's here with us. Nancy Branger is our Human Development Director, as well as Nicholas is our International Relations Director. Kelly Tarabay also as our Brand Director, and of course me, who is giving this live session with Daniel as well. And it's important that you know us as well, and we have three very clear objectives, and which is motivate by recognition with our BIZ awards, implement and promote CSR through WORLDCOB CSR. This is led by Daniel, and help establish trust through the WORLDCOB Trust Seal Verify Organization Network.
As we have established the importance of building trust, especially during these changing times, we have also created a special tool that will help maximize the trust projected by your organization, called the WORLDCOB Trust Seal. WTS provides third-party verification and adds to the online presence to your organization. And in the spirit of trust for the attendees of this Leaders Summit, we want to offer it at no cost for 60 days. So this tool can earn your trust before you make the financial investment to enhance one of your organization's most important values and assets. Inspire confidence, credibility, and reliability, and have a competitive advantage.
You can start your free trial by clicking on Learn More, and we can take it from there. And we promise that it will definitely, you will take advantage of our benefits. So, speaking in terms of finalizing the presentation, don't forget, trust is one of the most important organizational assets.
Yeah. And the good news is that as intangible it is physically indestructible. No fire, no theft, or disaster can destroy it. It's up to you to manage it.
Exactly. So, Daniel, let's build trust together, right? And thank you. Let me thank our WORLDCOB team for their help in making this live session a success, especially Denise, Lucero, Carlos, who will be attending in our booth, and of course Will, Carla, and all the team back in the office, in the virtual office right now. Right, we're working out in our homes, and Thanks also to our board of directors. I already thank them that are present right now. And thanks to our members that also are participants of this live session. It has been an honor to present as a sponsor of this Leaders Summit. So I don't know if any have Q&A, any questions that we can help you regarding all this topic.
We have a space open to make some Q&As.
Right, it's not necessary by the topic of the of what we're dealing with, but basically with the trustness and the projection trust in companies.
Well, we have a question from Heather Jennings. How do you recover trust after a misstep? Well, it's very difficult. There is a quote that said that take years to build trust and we can lose it in 1 second. But the truth is, we are humans. Somehow organizations and humans can have mistakes. And the important thing is that you let the others know that you have made a mistake, that your interest is to recover, and that you want to do everything is possible, everything in your hands to recover the trust. I think that communication is important.
Example that we were talking minutes ago regarding, for example, the review, which is if you have a bad review, it's always important to communicate. I believe that any customer, any possible client, always. I don't believe that expect us to be perfect. Any company will do that, but I believe that in order to regain or recover the trust of a client or any other institution or organization, of course, it's always important to communicate and to express that that you will like undo the mistakes that you have been doing. And of course, it's following all these recommendations will help also in order to start over. You can always start over, right, Dan?
I also think that for me it's important if, for example, in a web page, I can find also the bad reviews. It's important to share. If I only find nice reviews, I'm not going to be that confident about that. But when you see that bad reviews and how the company works to fix it, I think that it's something that they trust also. So
we have greetings from Brazil. We have any questions from Mr. Sat. How will you protect trust from any threat when it involves stakeholders, all stakeholders? What do you say about that, Daniel?
Well, I'm not sure to understand the question.
Shafikri Sat.
Yes, trust from any threat. Well, now we are in a very strange situation, a pandemic, no place safe, no one safe, something that is affecting everybody everywhere. So it's hard to protect everybody from any threat. But again, I think one of the most important things is something that comes with social responsibility, and is communication with the stakeholders. Communication, information is important, because when in this uncertain times, if you don't have information, it starts the fear. Fear is the enemy, really.
It's very interesting, the comments that we have from Ivan. Trust is also generated by those companies that nurture and protect their most important asset, people, of course. Workplace health and safety plays a key role in sustainability and the management of human capital. Exactly, yes. I agree with that as well. And Nancy, our Human Development Director, she says, we experience joy when we learn to trust. Exactly. So it's very important to know how to build trust. You can take it from there. And then.
Yeah, Minda Perminian asked an important question. What is the role of psychological contract in building trust between employees and organizations? How can you use it as a tool to build trust? It's absolutely important to build trust in an organization. You have clear objectives, purpose, a shared purpose, empower people, and you have to bring the security to your people that they can take risk, that they're in a safe environment. So that's gonna permit them to do substantial support without fear to represalia or I mean, it's a safe environment to give opinions. So it's absolutely important.
There are some quotes that we were, when we were working on this topic, Daniel, you wanted to share, I believe. Oh no, it's from Frank Kane or Frederick Douglass, for example. From Frank Kane, he says, "You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you do not trust enough." Quoted in Business Education World. You may deceive if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you do not trust enough.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Again, talking about Milda's question or comment, we will have a webinar in WORLDCOB Sessions next 26 or 29, Jesus? 29, right? June 29.
26.
June 26. And we talk exactly about this. We talk about the resilience of the companies and how to build resilience. And it's important exactly to build trust between the employees. A safe environment for them.
There's one question for you, Daniel. So from CSR. So it's Mr. Kaplan. Do you think that social responsibility is only on paper in corporate governance, but not in practice as it should be?
Well, I'm very optimistic about social responsibility. I mean, we are a business association, so we have a lot of members, and we have almost 500 companies that are certified under our social responsibility standard. And all these companies have a really important commitment to improve the quality of life of the employees, their safety, and to do something for the community and to take care of the environment. And this is the drops that putting all together to do this ocean. I think it's one of the most clear ways in this world to achieve the sustainable objectives, right? So I don't think it's in paper. So I think it's part of an evolution. Everybody's learning every day. Defies, big threats like this pandemic that changes everything. But I don't think it's in paper. I think that companies are working, but it's a win-win situation.
To answer Milda, yes, we will definitely invite all attendees of this event and this, of course, this live session. We'll send by email the invitations for the CSR webinar that Daniel is doing on next Friday. It's free, of course.
We have a nice question from Ashokan Ramakrishnan. We can manage only what we can measure. How we can measure something like trust? Yeah, it's something we used to say. We only can manage what we can measure. And if we can't manage, we don't know if you are improving or not. It's very difficult to show companies how their intangible value is increasing. But it's something that you can see in the stock exchange. There, the actions, the stock actions, change every day, and it depends on the perception of the market, right? So every day it will change depending on this perception. So it's very easy to show to a company that is in the stock exchange that what is about the intangible value. In 1970, the intangible value explained only the 10-15% of the value of the actions of the shares. But today it explains more than 80%. Right? Intangible explains more than 80% of the value of a company. So this is an important way to understand how valuable this is.
Someone from Colombia, from Ana Maria. I'd like to know your experience about purpose-driven organizations. You can tell them experience from the focus of CSR, right, Daniel, also. And of course, I believe that Ana Maria, Daniel, will able to contact you afterwards and network with him, since he's also speaks perfect Spanish, right, Daniel? Así que Ana Maria probablemente te conecta, but you can give us some
of course.
help about that, right?
I heard this. And Leonardo Garcia is asking something very interesting. In this time, it's hard to make attraction campaigns due to the risk of being aggressive or insensitive to our clients. How to do this without affecting trust in your company? It's something that it's a real situation is happening today. But I think that everybody understands that we have a pandemic with a health risk, right? But we also have an economic risk, a very big economic risk, and it could be even harder than this sanitary emergency. So I think that everybody understands that we want to keep working and we need to pay the bills, because it's something that has the economy running, and also we have to pay our employees. So I think that it's important to understand how to communicate or how to do these campaigns. But I think that people understand that companies must go ahead. We need companies. Companies are the engine that move economy, countries, development.
I want to remind all of you that are present here right now with us session. After ending this session, all of the session will be played again in our booth. We have a booth that Dennis will send the link right now in the chat, so everybody can go assist. And also you can take advantage. Don't forget for the free trial for the WTS certificate for it's at our business trust certificate. Please, Daniel, go ahead. Thanks.
I was reading the questions.
Maureen says, how can emerging companies break even with trust when consumers sometimes stick to old brand?
Wow. That's something has to do with the marketing strategies, right? But there are a lot of emerging companies with a lot of creativity, innovation. Today, in social media open a lot of opportunities and risks, and people is always looking for new things. So
right.
it's not as hard.
This is something also we can help with for our members. We have, of course, consultancies and questions. We invite you to network with us after the session, and of course we can help you with that. We can tell you about experiences that we have with our members, and regarding exactly to that question that you asked for us. So Hital says, greetings from California. How do you see asking for evidence from the companies about their purpose-driven results? Do you think measuring and managing impact is important for credibility? I believe I know the answer, Daniel, but you can
No, again, we were talking about measuring. We need how do you say it? we need indicadores. Jesus, help me.
KPI or what?
KPI, yes, of course. We need KPIs. We need to define that. And it's very hard in sustainability, at least in the social impact. Environment is a little easier, yeah, but it's important to try for each company, because each company is a completely different world. So for each company to find what kind of KPIs they need to measure. So define their own KPIs. So, but it's important. It's important. If you see also the Global Compact, ask in your communication and progress to have outcomes, not only the things that you want to do or the things you do, but also the impact the things have done. And also, when we talk about corporate social responsibility, we are talking about social and environmental impact. That's it. What we're looking is for a positive impact. So we need to measure it.
Excellent comments from Ashokan. He says, thanks for the reply. I think you make a really good point on how a company's intangible brand value is an indication of the level of trust it has built with customers. So to protect $1 million brand, we need to invest on building on the trust we have built and not just marketing. Exactly. So here's...
Consumers today have more information. They take more decisions with a better criteria. So we need to take care about that. It's not just to wash the face. We need to be real. People immediately is going to see that. Okay, and this times it's very difficult. Avoid transparency. So do things well. We have enough studies that demonstrate that corporate social responsibles are more profitable, have less risks, and they are doing good. So why not to be?
Exactly. So we're finishing, I believe. So any other questions and comments? He says, so true, but we also need negative impact measures to avoid SDJ washing. It's sharing a video that probably we will look at it after the session. Thank you for sharing, Hito.
Yes, of course. But we know important transnationals or big companies have very bad experiences about the negative impact, and it costs for them a lot of money. Nike has problems a lot of years ago, and today they are one of the most committed companies. They understand the message. Volkswagen, they have spent, they are still, and they are going to spend more money to get a solution to their last problem about the fraud of the engines. Okay, so it's not just to consider how are the costs of being socially responsible. We need to consider the cost of not to be, for our company and for the others.
So Desiree, she says, what about digital age leadership versus building deep trust relationships? So it's building deep trust relationships is something that we normally have done, believe it or not, through the years, right, Daniel? And definitely digital age leadership is something that it's like the tendency, right? Or it's like the I don't know, what are your comments about?
Not be opposite. I think that building trust, deep trust relationships, is something that all companies and all human beings will want to develop. And obviously, when something new arrives, it takes the time to find the place, the niche.
Yeah, both requires involvement, right, and contribution. So yeah, I believe it's not that different, right?
Yeah, I think that I agree. Not necessary versus.
Mr. Vavar says, is there a possibility to share possible KPIs? The question,
yes,
I don't know.
Yes, Jesus.
No, I just was saying that I don't know if the question is regarding to share possible KPIs for their companies, or I don't know if we need a little more help about the question, or you understand it well.
Yeah, if you are interested, if one of you is interested in to talk about your status, your company's status regarding CSR, I invite you to contact me after this conference, and we can set a meeting so we can talk, and we also can offer to you a pre-evaluation for free to see the gaps in your company regarding CSR, and then we can talk about, because as I told first, every company is a different world, so it's important for every company to define it, to identify the stakeholders, the impacts, and act according.
There's Mr. Sad with the great questions. He says that how to safeguard trust between generation gap, especially Gen C and Gen Z and Gen X, and definitely it's a hard question, right?
Yeah, it's more for philosophy.
Right, because trust it has to be in any generations, right? It's important in any generation. So
I think a baby boom generation. So.
Yeah, probably it's a whole new way to communicate with the new generations, right? And I believe that that's the answer will be go over that way, right? What you said? Dan?
Yes. No, I agree. I think, well, I think that exceeds what we're talking. It's something more about philosophy. It's important. I think that every generation comes with different characteristics, and it's good. They move things. They challenge us. We need to adapt, and we also learn. So it's important. Always toleration, respect, open mind.
Just to do again to talk about what we have talked, and the live session is already over, but so people are joining us, and we're thankful for them for their time. We one of the things that we talked with Daniel today was we point at recommendations in focus areas for projecting trust in your organization, right? So we had like integrity. We talk about integrity. We talk about organizational message, CSR, corporate social responsibility, about stakeholders, about visibility, online presence, testimonials, and certifications and recognitions. And this is and we talk about this, of course, because we have also brands and services that are related to those topics, and we are very glad to help you with that. So I just wanted to point, because I'm seeing that there's still people with us and joining us, and I'm sure that there's people that knew that haven't know what we are talking about, right, Daniel?
Yes, of course. That's okay. Do you think we have any questions? Any more questions, Jesus? I gave my email. I put my email there. Maureen Ada Leonard was asking for it. It's at the end of our presentation. We also have maybe we can put in the presentation in the screen. Jesus, what do you think?
All right, sure. So you had one last question, I believe. It's
Ginny.
how we can rebuild trust after a reputational damage. That's something we have talked about in the live session, but we can definitely give a comment on that, Daniel.
Yes, yes. The important is communication, transparency. Show the other, okay, you made a mistake. Everybody made mistakes, but you want to solve it. So that's the important thing. Or maybe it depends on each case, okay? But I think that today communication is something that in companies is a must. It must be professional. We talk about the message. It's important to have the right message for your organization and understand if you are projecting your message correctly and if people are receiving the message, okay? But there are studies that 50% of companies were thinking that they have bringing a perfect message, and only 28% were receiving that message correctly. So we must take in consideration the difference between the communicator and how it is received.
Thank you. Gracias, Itzel Orozco. She's saying hi from Mexico. We have Marisa Murphy. Also, how do you weigh the fail fast mentality and building trust in the workplace? So, building trust, I believe we have talked about this, and of course we haven't pointed at the workplace. We have pointed at more as the what will be the customers and clients, right? But I believe that what we have talked about will help. But the fail fast mentality, how you can fight with that, Daniel? What do you think? This is also some philosophic maybe question or a psychological question probably.
I have limitations with my English.
Where's Nancy?
I'm sorry, but the important thing about building trust, we talk about that. Please, Marisa, we invite you to join us in June 26th. We will talk about this, especially about this, and we think that it's important. The leaders in a company, they have the right communication skills, and then relationships, but must be with respect, with empowerment. Okay, so to create a safe environment for the workers, so they can take risks, right? And so in companies, everything is about relations, respect, and also the capacitation, formation. Jesús.
Formation.
Formación, capacitación.
Training.
Training. Yes, that's my limitation in English. Sometimes the words that come to my mind.
It's great. So yeah, Nancy, you're here. We wanted to help us with the question of the fail fast mentality and building trust in the workplace. It's I know that's your area, and you can help it with us for giving an answer to Marisa Murphy, and not to wait for the webinar that Daniel is also invited to all the UNGC Compact Summit attendees. Yes. Elizabeth is talking about the ISO 26000. Daniel, what do you say about that? It's already approved to certify that standard, or not yet? It's not the question, but it's just making questions in my head. She says, serve as an industry expert to the working group for ISO 26000. So we can ask Elizabeth. It's already.
No, we can say Elizabeth that congratulations, because it's important that she had participated in this standard. It's not a standard. It's a guide, but it's the Bible of the CSR standards. So it's very, very important. Trust and positivity are the same traits of a person or not? Help me with traits, Jesus.
Como capacity, maybe like same like characteristic.
Mhm.
So maybe it's different, right? It's not. You can be a trustful person, but not to be a positive one, right?
Yes. I
Like
think positivity is a very important trait for resilience. It's something. If you are a positive person, it means that you are confident about your skills and about how you will react in front of a threat or a situation, right? So positive people always find a way, and they are resilient. And trust is something that, as we say, it's just something that you need to live and you need also to project. Elizabeth is asking for Mike. Mike who? Mike
no,
Gallego?
microphone. So we can do that maybe. Unfortunately, we're trying to invite also our directors, Nicholas and Nancy, but I believe that it's not able to do it in the sessions link. So we will need to, at 3 p.m., we will need to go ahead and go to our booth, and maybe we can go ahead and invite you if you're willing to do it. Will be an interesting conversation with Daniel regarding the ISO and other standards.
Yes, of course. I was reading that Sahira also help us with the answer about positivity. Excellent in the chat. Thank you. Well, Dr. Ali is commenting us about situation of CSR in Pakistan. Well, CSR is something that is in a constant evolution also in different countries. But I think that consumers are putting pressure in companies, so companies have to take care of the chain of supply, and that is improving conditions of workers in other countries. So it's one of the triggers for corporate social responsibility. I can talk about Pakistan's situation really, no? It would be there.
We're closing. Just wanted to read a last quote, and then we're invited to be with us we're going to be like half an hour in the we're going to jump from here to our booth. Denise will put the link of our booth so we can continue talking with Nancy Bringer. Nicolas also will join us in order to rethink also this answers to the questions that you have been doing. And Denise, like I said, we'll send this in the chat. We'll put the link. So you're of course welcome to join us. Thank you for being with us here right now. There's a quote that Michael told me to read, and that is a little long, but I believe it's great. It's mankind are not held together by lies. Trust is the foundation of society. Where there is no truth, there can be no trust, and where there is no trust, there can be no society. Where there is society, there is trust, and where there is trust, there is something upon which it is supported. This is Frederick Douglass from our composite nationality. From listen to the date. It's December 7, 1869, and it still is something to think about. So like I said again, thank you for having the time to meet with us And please visit our site to learn more. Also, the ones that want to have the free trial on WTS on World Cup Trust Seal are welcome to do so through our booth. And please stay safe. Have a great week, and see you soon. Please, Daniel, you can go ahead with the also saying goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. On behalf of our members, it has been a pleasure to be here to share this presentation with you, this chat with you. So see you around.
To go to our booth, there's Denise put in the chat. We invite you to join to our booth. Denise Villacorta has put our link to the expo, so you're welcome to join us with our directors as well to continue talking. Thank you.
Entonces, ¿no? Podemos sacar la cinta de acá.
¿Dónde vas a usar esa ahora? ¿Mm?